Welcome to my review of the Kinera Celest Wyvern Black, a budget IEM priced at just $25. This model features a single 10mm LCP dynamic driver and is primarily marketed for gaming. However, I'll be reviewing this IEM for music listening and general use. Since it's designed for gamers, it can also be purchased with a boom mic cable. Now let's dive into the unboxing and take a closer look at the packaging to see what's included. The packaging of the Wyvern is fairly simple. It comes with a tiny box with a nice photo of the faceplates. Inside, there's an introduction of the IEMs and an illustration of a wyvern. The IEMs and tips are inside these plastic zip bags. For the price, I think the packaging is okay, minimalistic and neat. There are 3 pair of silicone tips and a manual in the packaging. The build of the Wyvern is what amazes me most. Honestly, I would have believed this costed $150 by looking at its build. The faceplate kind of changes color when it catches the light, and the shell itself is nicely polished and doesn't feel thin or flimsy. It has a flush 2-pin cable connector. For the nozzle, I would prefer it to have a flange to prevent tips from coming off accidentally, although that hasn't happened yet in my time of use. The cable is also really nice. It's very soft and doesn't feel rubbery. I like cables with a smaller splitter and clinch, so I'm really happy with this cable, especially for the price. The comfort and fit on the Wyvern is great, at least for me. It has a semi-custom shape that will stay in place in my ears, but they are a bit large, so if you have really small ears, it may not fit you as well. Isolation is above average for a dynamic driver. It only has one vent, so it blocks out outside noise pretty well. Perfectly fine for trains and buses. Here are my measurements of the Wyvern on Squiglink. If you don't know what Squiglink is, it's a platform that allows reviewers to upload frequency response graphs of the IEMs so you can compare them. I want to thank Mark from Super Reviews for helping me set this up. First of all, the channel matching of the Wyvern is perfect. For a $25 IEM, I was really surprised. Kinera did a great job on matching the drivers, at least on mine. For the frequency response, it basically follows the Harman curve with a less of a dip in the mid bass, and an early rise in the upper mids in the treble region. If you want to take a look at the graphs yourself, I've attached the link in the description below. Before I start, I just wanted to say I mainly tested the Wyvern on the iBasso Macaron. It's a more budget DAC, which I think matches it quite well. I also tested it on the Atom 2 stack and the DX180. The Wyvern isn't picky on the source and it's relatively easy to drive. The audio experience is characterized by a predominantly dark sound profile, designed to be non-fatiguing for extended gaming sessions. While it is not particularly detailed, this setup delivers a punchy bass that enhances immersion without being overwhelming. However, the vocals and mids come across as slightly thin and recessed, which may affect the overall richness of the sound. The treble is smooth and avoids harshness, though it also doesn't offer intricate details. Additionally, I think the vocals in vocal-oriented tracks sound slightly nasally. This may be attributed to an elevation in the 1 to 2K frequency range, influencing the clarity and fullness of the sound. The soundstage of the Wyvern is narrow and everything seems to be placed closely around you. This is where it will reflect the price of the Wyvern as a budget set. The imaging is also fairly average. You'll get okay stereo imaging, but it's difficult to tell where the instruments are coming from. I find the Wyvern to sound especially good playing modern pop songs with a lot of bass. Anything with a heavy bass line will sound energetic and engaging on the Wyvern. Songs from Post Malone, Dua Lipa or anything that's trending today will mostly sound great on it thanks to its texture and dynamics in the bass department. The treble of the Wyvern is also well controlled and laid back, so it's suitable for treble-sensitive users. The Wyvern does reasonably well in female vocals. It feels natural and well presented. However, for vocal-oriented male tracks like something from Chris Stapleton or Muddy Waters, it really falls apart. Male vocals with a heavy chest voice sounds unnatural and nasally, which might be a result of the peak in the 1 to 2K region. So if you are a vocal lover, you might want to take note of that. Another region where it falls apart is the soundstage and presentation of the transients. It's simply lacking as the Wyvern just isn't very resolving in the highs. So this might not be for you if you listen to a lot of classical, jazz or acoustic music. I'm actually pretty looking forward to trying Kinera's new Ignite X Beast IEM. I think it will do a lot better in this region with the help of an additional BA driver. For gaming and media consumption, the Wyvern effectively serves its purpose as a less fatiguing option. I think the elevation in the 1 to 2K frequency range is intentional, enhancing footstep clarity and making it particularly beneficial for first-person shooter games. The bass provides a sense of immersion, which makes it enjoyable in movies and games. While the vocals are slightly recessed and laid back, this characteristic not only works well for YouTube videos or videos with lots of talking, making them less fatiguing to listen to, but also helps make communication between gamers less fatiguing, allowing for a comfortable listening experience without overwhelming the user. These were so hyped up a couple of years ago as a budget set. I just hopped on the hype train hoping they would compete with sets multiple times its price. Of course, that did not happen. I already had nicer sets at that time, so I only used these for once or twice and never touched them again. They sounded okay, but it just felt cheap overall. The cable is thin and flimsy. Even though the shell was metal, it still felt and looked cheap. That was the main reason why I never liked them. Compared to the Wyvern Black today, everything just feels and looks much nicer. Comparing the sound of them, the BL03 has more mid-bass, but it sounds slightly bloated to my ears. The Wyvern has better texture in the bass, and it's also more tamed. For the mids and vocals, I like the BL03 a bit better as it sounds more natural to my ears. The Harman tuning isn't really my preference. For the treble, both of them aren't super technical, but the Wyvern just has a slight edge in the details. If you're more seasoned in the hobby and just looking for an alternative set, I don't think the Wyvern Black will impress you in terms of its sound. But if you're just starting out in the hobby and looking for a set to start out with, the Wyvern Black is a great choice. It does great in modern pop songs, in gaming, and in general media consumption. It has a great fit and non-fatiguing sound signature. It's a great stepping stone to start the hobby with, and it allows you to learn what you like or don't like in its sound signature. I think the sound signature of the Wyvern Black will please many people who are starting this hobby, especially coming from wireless headphones or earphones. Overall, it's a well-tuned set that looks great and packs a lot of value at a competitive price.